Hey, ladies, welcome to another Monday morning chat. Rozella, Steffani, Spokane, Washington. Once again, how are you guys?
Hello, doing
Good.
fabulous.
Good. Rozella, how are
Sandy,
you doing?
Sandy,
Good.
we're
Yeah,
ready for your questions today,
yeah,
John.
I told Rozella and Steffani, guys, our YouTube audience was asking a question, which is, how would I differentiate you, Miss Real Estate Agent, from any other agent in the market? Why would I want to use you over other agents? So we're going to put both Stephanie and Rosella a little on the hot seat today and ask them that question. Which of you wants to go first here? What's going to differentiate you from other agents?
I was gonna say, who goes first? I can go first. I don't mind.
Yeah.
All right.
Go for it.
So one thing that I love is that I grew up here in the Spokane area. So as far as like knowledge and like expertise on just the area, I feel like I kind of stand out just because I grew up here. I'm familiar with all the neighborhoods. I've seen them grow since the 90s. I know how much it's changed. And also because I've been here for so long, I've really been able to take the time to know specific neighborhoods. Like, okay, if you're going to live here out in Cheney Airway, like maybe we should do some water testing because of the Air Force Base and the fire retardant that's now polluting the water. And, just like fun little things that have popped up over time throughout the neighborhoods and just the knowledge that builds onto that, being in the area for so long. That's
Good.
just like, yeah, that's my kicker. The first thing for knowledge for that. Uh, Stephanie will take turns. Your turn.
Wait, what? I don't think that's how it would work if someone were
Okay,
interviewing us.
fine. I'll keep going. Another reason is my knowledge for like the contracts and more of like the behind the scenes thing. When I got into real estate, it was at the beginning, kind of right after COVID hit, and it wasn't as busy. Our area did slow down just for a brief moment because we couldn't get out and see homes and that sort of thing. I wanted to stay within the real estate market and still learn and grow. So I became a TC and started to do a lot of the contract work for other agents that were still producing that had been in the industry for a bit longer. I did that for 4 years. I learned a lot of the behind the scenes and how to negotiate contracts, how to handle contracts, how to properly work the contracts. That way, you're not hurting your clients long term because there are little small caveats that you can add and remove from contracts that will make a world of difference when it comes down to closing or if there are any hiccups along the way that come up with buying or selling the home, whether you're on the sell side or the buy side. So I feel like being able to really do all of the behind the scenes and the paper process of it has benefited me numerous times, just being able to help my clients and navigate that sort of situation. Third big final thing is I feel like I'm able to really communicate properly with people. I really enjoy getting to know my buyers and sellers and figure out their motivation. And once I have figured out their motivation, it's really helpful to be able to guide them and know which way they're going to go. I haven't been heavy in just, in homes in town or whether it be rural property or land. I've been really fortunate to have clients all over the board. And so I've been able to learn not just single family residence, but all of the other properties, whether it be condos downtown. I have a barn dominium outside of town on land right now, or, homes up in Kettle Falls. So I've been able to help clients all over Eastern Washington and not just in the Spokane area, which is really great. Again, it goes back to I grew up here. I know the area really, really well. And so I'm able to help people not just in town, but all over the place.
Very good.
Perfect.
Steph.
Stephanie, now
I
it's
give
your
her a
turn.
good rating as an agent.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for me, I think that whenever I meet people and I have an opportunity to either represent them as a buyer or a seller, um, it's hard to kind of put yourself on a platform that really separates you from a lot of people because, like Rozella, I've also been kind of born and raised here. I have a little different type of a raising, but I also have basically been in Spokane my entire life, in addition to the West Side, just kind of back and forth in times. But I watched the area grow up, and then I myself started purchasing and investing in the real estate game um, long before I ever started selling it, but at a really young age. So I've experienced kind of both the downfall of the market when everything crashed and burned, and then to watch it rise again. But anyways, so for me as an agent, I heavily utilize my numbers experience because of prior lending, and then obviously having it within my family. I don't know who that guy might be, but I have a family lender who's always been really good and educational. So I think that when buyers and sellers meet me, I give them a little bit of a different perspective of real estate because I'm looking at it as an overall investment. I understand when you're selling, you're obviously going to be making money, but there's always a cost to making money. And then when you're buying, there's always, avenues that you have to take. And I've been on the buy side, so I can give personal experience from both sides of it. And in addition to that, I really care about my people and putting them and making sure that where they're at is somewhere that they want to be, for whether it's a short amount of time or a long amount of time. I really listen to what their goals are and I try to match them to what it is that they're wanting, and then also giving them the best guidance possible, like I said, with the numbers, because ultimately our job is still to make the numbers work, make the contracts work, all the above, but the number has to be comfortable, because that's how you get an educated buyer and that's how you get a calm buyer, and all of the above. And lastly, I would say people probably would want to hire me over someone else just because I'm such a straight shooter and I'm always going to give you reality, and not just tell you what you want to hear. I know that that feels good to be told what we want to hear, but that's not really what you need in a situation like this. And I find that my job is to help educate and protect my clients to the best of my ability. And sometimes that might mean having to say hard things or do the hard things for them, because again, that's what I'm hired to do. And I very much so take pride in my job. And I always have, because this is something that I know I wanted to do long term and I want to be here long term. And so with that, I want the repeat of trust from my clients and my people to come back to me, whether they're buying or selling. But I want them to come back to me, know that they can come and ask me questions, or they can send their friends and their family to me, and I'm going to take care of them as well. So it's not just about a transaction. It's not just about selling a home or buying a home. It's an overall process. And I very much so understand that it can be emotional. It can be, financially kind of burdensome sometimes to some people. But overall, I think having someone who's a good, solid foundation to lean on during this type of a transaction is why people end up hiring me, honestly.
I like it.
Well,
I can
thanks.
attest that both these ladies are right where they said they're going to be. They both know the market really, really well. They're both with their clients and get to know their clients really, really well, as they both said. So I don't think you can go wrong choosing Steffani or Rozella. So thanks, ladies. Anything else you want to close out with? And what words of wisdom would you give them? Go ahead, Rozella, you're up.
I want to ask you, John, why should someone hire you as their lender?
Oh, funny you should ask that question, Rozella. Okay. Well, I've been
Hear it.
doing loans a long time, so the experience level comes with that. And yeah, I think you want an experienced lender. But on top of that, I think empathy is really big for buyers, which is normally who we're working with, of course, because it's a big deal getting a loan to buy a house, and people are afraid of that. They may not articulate that initially, but deep down inside, most people are really kind of like unsure if they qualify and unsure of this process, and it's a big deal. And oh my goodness, it's not going to happen. So one of the things that I like to do up front is really get to know my clients well by giving them the opportunity, first of all, to ask me a lot of questions before I start asking them all of our specific questions, and going deeper. One of the questions I like to ask is, just tell me a little bit more about that. Tell me really why this is the case. And then they kind of open up. And in the mortgage industry, we get to know everything about our clients because we see their finances, we see their credit, we see their all that, and they just tell us their life because it just comes out in that conversation. That helps me to guide them. So what I like to do is get to know them, get to know their emotions, get to know where they're at, and then get to ask them some questions about their goals, their aspirations. Do they want to be a real estate investor long term? That they want to pay off this house as quickly as possible, where they're at. And then I can give them guidance and guide them down the right path, because there's different strategies. Strategy is more important than rate on a loan almost every single time. So we like to offer great rates to our clients. We like to offer a great process of getting the loan with my team of clients, but I also want to know where they're at and where they want to go, so I can give them guidance for that approach, get them down the right path. So there you go, guys.
Good job. I think I might have learned something along the way.
Yes, indeed, you probably have. All right, guys, if you're our YouTube audience, give a like to this video if you liked it. Give us a comment if you have questions about that. Reach out to any of us. We're happy to chat with you, answer any questions you might have off screen as well as on screen. We're all about that. Thank you, Steffani. Thank you, Rozella, for chatting with us and going deep today on where you're at. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Very welcome.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.